Hey guys, it's Cooterz. I'm here to unbox the all-new 4K camera by Blackmagic. It's the URSA Mini, so let's go and check it out. So here's the box, guys. I'm going to go ahead and start opening this up. It's pretty big. I can't fit on my desk very well. So I'm just going to move this up here and try to do the vlog from up here, or rather unboxing. I got this at Anorama. It took a while to come just because it's been on back order for a while. The reason why I chose this camera is just because I wanted a 4K that was by Blackmagic. I always wanted a Blackmagic camera. I just never really settled on one because I had purchased a camera around the same time, actually, the Blackmagic pocket camera and the production cinema cameras. You know, the 2.5K and the 4K were being manufactured. And they got a lot of good reviews. There were definitely some firmware issues that were fixed, some that still linger. But let's hope that, you know, they've polished up what they have started with, because this is not a new sensor. This is just your basic, you know, well, not really basic, but it's pretty much like just a 35 millimeter, Super 35 4K sensor. So a lot of cameras have this already, a lot of cameras. So it's not like it's new technology in a sense. Let me move this packaging away. Now, there are two versions of the Blackmagic URSA Mini. There is a 4.6K, which I don't believe is out yet. But there's a lot of hype around that one because it's actually Blackmagic's first owned 4.6K sensor. So there's probably going to be a lot of nice things about it, and probably a lot of bugs as well in the beginning, as all new technology has. Anorama actually provided a hot shoe mount from Wooden Camera. Great company, by the way, if you ever want to check them out. Alright, I'm going to take this out of the box. Hopefully we can see all of it, because it is fairly big. Alright. So here it is. This is the box looks like. Let's see if I can actually adjust that slightly. So this is, I mean, it's a pretty small box. It's not that big. It's about, I don't know, like a foot or so wide, and, you know, maybe 8 inches or so tall, maybe like 10 inches tall. I don't know, something like that. It is a fairly small camera. It's a lot smaller than the URSA, just the regular URSA, but it is a lot bigger than the production camera. So the, you know, Blackmagic, the BM PC, the 4K version, which is the same size as the 2.5K. Looks like someone actually cut through. I don't know if this is me. No, this couldn't have been me. Looks like during, like, they were unboxing it, they actually not slit through, but just on the top of this packaging. Hopefully it's not damaged. Shouldn't be, but let's go ahead and open it. So if you're looking at this camera right here, sorry, see if we can, I'll try to keep it in there. This loop system right here for your eye, and the handle and this shoulder mount isn't included. This is the EF mount, so it was for my Canon lenses, since I have a bunch of Canon lenses. I shoot with Canon normally. Also, this does come with the DaVinci Resolve Studio, as it shows on the box right here, which is nice. It's a really, really expensive color grading software, so it's nice to have that for free. It does come, comes with the other Blackmagic cameras. Well, I don't know if it comes with the pocket camera, but it definitely comes with the production camera and the cinema camera. Let me actually turn this around so it's right side up. So here's the box itself. Just flip it open. I guess we may well have to flip it back around. Okay. So this is what the contents look like. Welcome. And it's a nice little booklet. This is the software right here on a SD card. And just kind of like, you know, little words there. This is DaVinci Resolve. I think it usually comes in a USB dongle. Let's see how they package it this time. Something's rattling around. Ugh, it's actually pretty hard to open. Yes, it is the dongle itself right here for DaVinci Resolve, as well as an SD card, which seemed to have gotten out of the packaging, but it is all there. So just a normal, you know, USB, kind of like a flash drive. That's pretty much what the, DaVinci Resolve software comes on. Now, you notice if you buy anything used on like eBay, like the Blackmagic production camera or cinema camera, do make sure it comes with DaVinci Resolve, because it is quite the expensive program, and honestly, you're not really getting a lot of your money's worth if you buy a used camera. I mean, the camera itself is great, but this software is really expensive as well, so you're kind of actually losing out a lot on that. I noticed a lot of people have like posts this up when I was looking for cameras, and they say, oh, it doesn't come with the DaVinci dongle, and you're pretty much fucked if that's the case, in the sense that you're not going to be able to use the software. All right, let's go ahead and open this. This is nice styrofoam. It's not the kind that breaks easily. It's the really absorbent kind. So you could break it, but it's not going to very easily. And inside is the actual camera. Whoa, sorry about that. Let's see, it comes with the power supply. Now this camera, unlike most cameras that you're going to end up getting, since it is a full-fledged kind of cine camera, it doesn't actually have its own like battery. So you can plug it in to use, and then connect it up to the tap in the back, but you can't actually like rock or run and gun or whatever with this camera. You can if you get a battery plate. I'll talk about that in a sec. So let me actually move some stuff around so I can get some space. This is a little just hand pad thing. This is just a little 3.5 millimeter jack, little audio jack. Probably connect some sort of audio thing together to the camera. I'm trying to remember what this is for. I can't remember right now. And which is actually, let me just move this and take the camera out. Here's the camera in all its glory. Right there. As you can see, it has a lot of vents right here for heat sinks. Or rather for just, letting out the air. There's heat sinks inside this. A lot of mounting points for. A handle goes right on top of this, actually, if you buy the shoulder mount. You don't get the handle by itself. It doesn't come with the camera. You have to buy the shoulder mount system, which is, I believe, $350 by Blackmagic. And then, it is the EF mount right here. So if we were to take this off, I've never used a Blackmagic. I think we just, there we go. There is the sensor itself. Sorry, I always forget where the camera is. Hope nothing falls into that. And there is a XLR input here for audio input, and then an audio output, and then there's also an SDI out as well for audio video. And then in the back, you also have some SDI out. So this is the video side for SD, and then the audio is over by the XLR. I believe I don't think it has an HDMI out. I know just mainly SDI, which is a preferred kind of form factor or whatever kind of connector for high-end video. So that's nothing that's too surprising. And then this is the little power plug right here. It's just a 4-pin. And then this is where you would attach a battery plate if you wanted to actually do some stuff on the go. Now, there's some people out there probably have never seen what a battery looks like. Unfortunately, I don't have my plate with me. It's on my other camera. But what you would put on the back here is a plate that would attach either like a V-mount battery or even like an Anton Bauer like gold mount. And to give you an idea, I do actually have my Dionic D90. This is just to show you like how much space this would take on this camera. This is D90, so it's fairly big. It holds a pretty good charge, and it definitely will run this camera for a while. It has, kind of on-site status monitoring or real time, just to show you, how much power is left. I just charged this guy. So basically, you would have a plate. The plate isn't too big. It's about half an inch or so, and then you would kind of clip that onto the back. So you're talking about, actually about this much room off the back. So it's not a lot, depending on the battery, of course. You could get bigger batteries. Bigger cine batteries are going to hold more power, hold that charge, and last a lot longer, run this camera for quite a bit longer. But this is just a kind of a decent sized battery that's going to last you a while. And they do run a lot, so you got to keep in mind the plate itself was probably about $200 for Anton Bauer, and probably about $150, I think, from Blackmagic for the V-mount. The batteries itself are going to cost you, depending. New, this isn't old, this is discontinued, but for one that's like it, probably about $400, $500. And then if you want to get like a charger, if you want an on-camera charger, you know, you might be paying upwards of $1,000 with the batteries. So it's pretty expensive. You can't really, this isn't really a use right box in a sense. You can't plug it in. You can definitely plug this guy in, tap into power, you know, hook up your Canon lens or your EF mounted lens, and go from there. But you do need to actually use, they don't use SSDs like the Blackmagic's not pocket camera, sorry, their cinema camera and the production camera, the 2.5K and the 4K sensor ones. They use SSDs. This guy uses CFast cards, so you're gonna have to go with the CFast 2.0. Those are really, really, really expensive in price. You can look into CBox, which is a kind of a workaround where they use kind of, I guess you would say, template CFast cards, which connect through a SATA cable to SSDs, which you can mount right on the top. That will run you about $500, $600 for that. So either way, you're going to be spending a lot of money. But if you go with the CBox route, which is definitely like the better budget route, you can buy, you know, 1 terabyte hard drives right now, 1 terabyte hard drives rather, for like, you know, $300. I just picked one up for $290 for my computer. So that's way cheaper than CFast cards are running about $700 for a 256 gigabyte CFast, and about, you know, $300 or so for a 128. So I mean, it's about 4 times the price or so. See what else? Oh, it does have a 5.5 inch rather DPI screen, which has a little like film over it. So this guy is, you know, it's kind of bringing back like that, I guess, new style with the side screen. A lot of the Sony handy cams had those. I still do, I think. And it's a nice way of filming because it has, you know, kind of a field monitor or whatever you want to write on the camera. The issue with it coming out the side, though, is you do use this in something like a, I'm trying to think, if using like a glide cam or even a like a DJI Ronin, like, you know, their I just drawn a blank, their DJI Ronin stable gimbal. There we go. It's going to cause a little bit of center of gravity shift to the left, and I don't think you can open this up in a gimbal, honestly. So you probably don't want to use this if you're going to be doing any kind of field monitoring stuff, and you're gonna need a screen if you're using. You don't necessarily need one, but you probably want one. If you do, you need to kind of put up a cage or so, and then kind of mount the screen right up here. You can usually probably just mount a screen right on the top since they have a lot of stuff here. So you can just kind of get like an arm or whatever and put your field monitor right on top. That will focus the center of gravity to be in the middle, like where it normally should be. And then, seems I forgot anything here. This is the plate for just kind of like audio stuff. It's just XLR stuff in the back. Just trying to show back here. But that's all the audio imports. But yeah, this is a pretty hefty camera. You know, kind of hold it. You would end up holding it, you know, with your right hand on this guy over here. And then this has all controls for, like, you know, record and just kind of aperture and all that stuff. Is all on this kind of cool looking side control, which kind of the handy cams have, which lets you really stabilize. You know, if you have a top, if you get the shoulder mount, you can put it on your shoulder, or you can hold it on both hands, kind of get a steady shot. Or you can just kind of hold it on the bottom if you like that kind of thing. Now, the nice thing about this is that you don't really need a cage, as most of it is already built around it. So you can see this has, let me lower this mic, it has a lot of access points here. Now, if you buy the shoulder mount, you'll get the handle, and you'll get the shoulder mount on the bottom. As you can see, there's 4 down here as well. So you end up getting attachments here, and you'll get a rail system built into the shoulder mount. Now, you can see there's actually pretty cool looking. So basically, you can see right through it. It has really good air ventilation, so it allows, even though it has the same sensor as the Blackmagic camera, it actually can do higher frame rates at 4K than the BMPCC, or the BMPC, both of them, really. That's pretty much it. We'll do another video, which kind of will talk about this more in depth over, you know, why you should get one over the other. If you're interested in a new 4K camera, especially when I buy Blackmagic, rather, this is a good one to to kind of look at or consider. And then, you know, the older one is also something that's also very considerable. And I'll go over through a pro con list about that, and also, you know, include the 4.6K and see if it's something that would suit you. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next unboxing.